Serendipity is the action of happy accidents. This tale shows how one person's accidents may cause something good to happen further down the line. Bernard's story. Bernard is a 28-year-old ordinary single man. He has always followed the same routine of getting up at 8 a.m. and having his usual coffee and French toast. He would do an hour and a half of mind-draining telecommuting work until 10 a.m. and then he would head to the post office to send off his previous day's work. He left the house to head to the post office. He tackled the endlessly long walk by buying a coffee from the cafe down the road. As he crossed the street to the post office, he clumsily tripped over his feet. He stopped on the pavement to see what he fell on, when a huge flower pot fell from 4 stories up and smashed in front of him. Bernard stops for a second, thinking how lucky he is to still be alive. He got up and dropped a 10-pound note from his pocket without realizing. He arrived at the post office, said good morning to the cashiers, posted off his work, and went on his way to the library. The library seemed very quiet for a Tuesday morning. He went up to the desk and handed his books back. And when leaving, he bumped into an old friend and got stuck chatting to him for 20 minutes. He made his way up to the local outdoor market. As he approaches a huge iron gates welcoming you into the market, a dog rushes towards him, wagging his tail, with a sausage hanging out his mouth and an empty lead dragging behind him. Bernard looks at the dog, worried about where the owner is, and so takes him around to the market with him, in hope the owner spots their pet. He heads to the outdoor cafe in the park at 12 o'clock, taking the dog in his wake. He approaches the waitress at the cafe and orders a coffee and billionaire shortbread, searching for the 10-pound note he took with him. Unable to find his money, he starts to explain to the waitress how he does not think he'll be able to pay for his coffee. As he does, the small beagle gives out a loud yelp, shouting at the waitress. The waitress looks down at the dog angrily, when her face changes completely to a mixed look of shock, surprise, and overjoy. She explains how her dog ran off from her that morning and how she had been looking for him for so long. As Bernard explains how he came across the beagle and had been looking after him since he found him. The waitress is so thankful to him and offers to pay for his coffee and take him out for lunch on her break that day in gratitude for finding her pet. After their lunch date, Bernard and Mary fall in love with each other and spend the rest of their lives together. Mary's story. Mary has been a single waitress since she left school at the age of 16 and has never been happy with her job. She works in an outdoor cafe in the park in the center of the city and plays the same routine day by day. On Tuesday morning, Mary awoke to spend her day the usual way she does. She woke up at 9 a.m., hoping to have a nice, easy, slow start to her day before she started work. She goes for a shower at 9:15 and then has her usual coffee and breakfast at 9:30 in a dark and dull little flat in the center of the busy city. Next to her sink, she keeps a brightly colored plant, which she bought to brighten up her flat. Whilst clearing up after her breakfast, she managed to knock the plant pot out of the open window, which soared from the fourth floor flat down onto the pavement below. She takes her small, very energetic beagle out with her to inspect the smashed pottery. Whilst clearing up the mess, she notices a 10-pound note sat rustling in the wind about 2 meters away. As she goes to pick up the money, thrilled with what she has discovered, her distracted beagle shoots off in the distance, whizzing around the corner. She then spent the next hour worried, searching for her dog. Mary resigned from searching after an hour to go get ready for work, hoping that he would turn up. She leaves the house at 11:15. On the way, she sees a homeless man with his dog sat next to him on his dirty blanket. Feeling sorry for him and the dog, she gives him a 10-pound note she found earlier. She rushes into work late and explains to her fellow workmates what had happened. She works for her usual 25 minutes before a smart-looking tall man comes and asks for a coffee. Mary feels sorry for the man when he realizes that he cannot pay for his coffee, when she hears a loud yelp from below the counter. She looks down, startled at the noise, to see a familiar-looking beagle. Mary is thrilled that the man had found her dog. She gave the man his coffee for free as to say thank you. She even asked him out for lunch that day on her break. The two fell in love and spent the rest of their lives together. Mary's dog story. Buddy the Beagle does not lead a very exciting life in the city. He is only let out of his very small, unadventurous apartment once every morning and once in the evening. Buddy awoke from his morning sleep angrily, growling at his owner Mary as she screeched around the apartment, complaining about something. He was forced out of his small bed to go outside for his usual morning walk. Strutting down the seemingly endless stairs, Mary took him out onto the pavement, where she was clearing a pile of earth up. Buddy caught a whiff of barbecued sausages and took his chance when Mary leant over to pick up something and shoot off following his hunting nose. He shot round the busy roads, causing many cars to screech to a halt. He came across a little child with an ice cream. Buddy approached the little girl with a great beam on his face. The little girl's mom brushed the beagle off as he rushed round the corner to a pile of black bin bags. Buddy rummaged through the bin bags until he struck gold, a KFC bucket filled with half-eaten week-old chicken, which he dined on for 20 minutes. Buddy, bored of the bins, got a whiff of the sausages again and was off very quickly. He got to the entrance of the market where the smell of sausages was ever so strong. He sneaked up behind this barbecued food stand when a sausage fell on the floor in front of him, which he stole and ran off round the corner. He saw a man standing outside the front of the market and rushed up to him, who took him by his lead and led him round the market and town for an hour until he was returned to his owner. Every day we make mistakes that affects our or somebody else's future. Who knows what might happen to you in the future?